Getting answers. The CBS 13 News at 10 continues.
You're uncovering something that should be concerning to the entire public.
In Assemblyman announcing legislation after our reporting on so-called secret prison credit calculations. Convicts getting out of prison before serving their full term of their sentence.
As CBS 13 investigative reporter Julie Watts explains, it's intended to hold the State Department of Corrections accountable.
When voters passed Prop 57, the Department of Corrections said inmates would earn early release credits for rehabilitation and lose them for bad behavior. But critics say nearly everyone is getting out early now when there's little accountability. Well, now some lawmakers hope to change that.
A grisly Sacramento County murder.
Darnell Irby, accused of murdering and dismembering an elderly woman in her Sacramento home. Smiley Martin, one of the prime suspects in the Sacramento mass shooting. These are just two examples of recently released inmates accused of committing violent crimes after serving less than half their prison sentences, despite being accused of criminal activity while in prison and posing a, quote, unreasonable risk of violence or criminal activity.
The Department of Corrections is refusing to provide answers about how Smiley Martin earned enough credits in prison to get out nearly 5 years early.
The California DA's Association cited our reporting, calling on CDCR to explain early release of violent criminals.
Would you expect someone with this record to get good conduct credit?
Absolutely not. You would expect someone who has committed violence within the institution to actually forfeit credits.
Placer County DA Morgan Geyer is among many questioning how CDCR calculates early release credits and why they won't release the formula.
That remains a black hole of information. We don't know at what rate someone earns credits, how they lose their credits.
And DAs across the region want to know.
They're doing it in secret because they don't want to be called out and pointed out that they're doing it wrong.
The public has a right to know what these people are doing to rehabilitate themselves.
District Attorneys Jeff Reisig and Vern Pearson say under the voter-approved Prop 57, the credits were supposed to be earned for good conduct and rehabilitation. But they argue everyone is getting credits now, whether or not they were earned. CDCR has denied repeated public records requests for credit earning details and would only say incarcerated people can receive credits for good behavior, as well as program participation in completing educational programs. But even the former head of CDCR believes there needs to be more transparency.
I mean, should we have a right to view those credit calculations?
Well, I do believe the citizens and the victims in California do deserve a right to understand the calculations because they voted for them under Proposition 57.
Well, I don't understand why the state isn't being transparent in letting people know, especially prosecutors.
Assemblyman Joe Patterson is now announcing new legislation that would require CDCR to notify the district attorneys before they release an inmate and reveal the credit calculation. He's also co-sponsoring legislation that would force CDCR to release records related to inmate credits under the Public Records Act.
There's a public benefit to transparency because we have to make sure that the programs are actually working in prisons. It shouldn't be about just indiscriminately releasing people and allowing them to go out there and murder other people. We have to find out why these people are being released, and are we releasing the right people?